Comrade Soli, I said I think 15 minutes will be enough because we are talking the same language. And if we are talking the same language, there is no need to continuously repeat ourselves. Maybe it's a matter of emphasis. We do believe in collective leadership. Socialism tina sobuya nayo. Socialism tina sobuya nayo. Oskokele tambo. Oskokele tambo. Socialism tina sobuya nayo. Socialism tina sobuya nayo. Oskokele tambo. Oskokele tambo. How can we forget these songs? Yes, socialism, 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 yes, socialism. We gonna take South Africa with socialism. We gonna take South Africa with socialism. Yes, socialism. Yes, socialism. Yes, socialism. Yeah, we gonna take South Africa with socialism. Hey, we gonna take South Africa with social. Amandla, matla, yaruna. Comrade Soli, the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party. I always said I'm a member of the Communist Party, a member without a membership card. The African Congress for Transformation formally declares its commitment to this 2026 Conference of the Left in an dropped to approximately 59%. The need for a unified left movement for working class and popular power is an urgent historical necessity. The president of AZAPO have said Parliament is another side of struggle. ACT joins this convergence to amplify its voice, secure institutional legitimacy, and transition from an isolated splinter into a pillar of a broader coordinated left bloc. ACT views this conference not as a precursor to a new political party, but as a vital mechanism for coordination and shared action. Our participation is centered on three core objectives: institutional unity, active contribution to the establishment of the Council of the Left to ensure ongoing coordination and accountability beyond the three-day event, legitimacy and visibility, leveraging the shared platforms of established partners like the SACP, EFF, and MK Party, and all the parties here, to reach left-leaning and disillusioned members of our communities. ACT advocates for a program of action that prioritizes material bread and butter issues over abstract ideology to effectively counter voter fatigue. Our priority pillars include Priority Pillar 1, land and food sovereignty. Radical land reform and support for smallholder cooperative production to ensure community dignity. The EFF Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, have spoken about this, the 7 cardinal pillars of the EFF. Where do we differ with EFF on those cardinal pillars? Where do we differ with the speakers who have actually talked before you here today as Black African people? Where do we differ? Is it because of our egos? Do we want to be all leaders? Do we still, even if we have managed to lead, do we still want to lead forever and die being leaders? Is it not time to recognize that in South Africa today, and we believe that we belong to one human race, we are against racism. But in South Africa today, there are only 2 white parties. It's the DA and the Freedom Front. Why do we, Black African people, have more than 700? Somebody was telling me now, we have 702 black parties which want to participate in the coming local government elections. What divides us so much that we cannot come together? When we see that the people we are claiming to represent, we can see that they are hopeless. They are about to give up. When you campaign, they don't want to talk about any political party. What else are we supposed to do? Is it not the time to ask a question? What is to be done now? And I think that time has arrived. We are supposed to sit here. We went to China at some stage. During our visit, the Chinese said, "Hey, tell us, you guys, we always notice your conferences. In a conference, you are 6,000, you are 5,000. Where is quality engagements and discussions? And if you have 5 days to discuss, you sing for 3 days and you discuss for 1 day." So when I look at the number of people here, I then said we are on the right track, because we'll be able to engage and engage and engage, disagree to agree. And the politics of persuasion are very, very important. So I want to be more practical, so that when we leave here, we should have given hope to the hopeless. We should give hope to those who are looking forward to this conference of the left. I was a student at a university, and we discuss all the time student politics, the isms, the doctrines, and we have never agreed at any given stage and time. This is the time not for isms. You have heard somebody saying, that is not the conference of the left. But it was good for Comrade Soli to say, and it was not solely Mapail. It has always been the position of the South African Communist Party. But to isolate Comrade Soli, it was quite deliberate. And that's what they have done. That's what the enemies of the revolution have done. When we're in Cuba in 2018, with Comrade Tony Engeni, with Comrade Stumo Dlamini, the then president of COSATU, the Cubans said to us, you have entered another struggle now. You have taken serious conference resolutions. You want to nationalize the Reserve Bank? Are you sure? You want to expropriate land without compensation? Are you sure? Those cardinal points Malema is talking about, the Cubans said, now the real struggle begins. And that struggle began in 2018 after the ANC 2017 conference. And in struggle, you see negation of negation. You see those contradictions. In 2012, we brought some of these people who are in charge today. 2012, Carl Niehaus. It's us who brought the current president of the country and the ANC. COSATU and SACP said no in 2012. We moved forward. In 2017, we said no. COSATU and SACP said yes. So we look at these things, and Zuma said no. Fundamental mistake in history, and you'll regret forever. But that is politics. The time will come, and this is the time for us to give people hope and to change the pace and tempo of struggle. The time is today. If we miss this opportunity created by the South African Communist Party, there will never be any other opportunity. This is the time, and the time is now. We need shared political education mobilization efforts, and this should be underpinned by a shared political education program across all organizations to build strategic clarity and ensure that campaigns on the ground are delivering a unified message regarding ownership and structural transformation. In conclusion, ACT recognizes that the measure of the conference success lies in a sustained post-event organizing. We commit to building grassroots structures throughout the country, participating in thematic working groups on the solidarity economy and macroeconomic alternative, strengthening our internal anti-corruption mechanisms to ensure we remain credible alternatives. You must remember, and this is what the Cubans also said to us, when they realize that you are almost there, you are changing the lives of our people and the country, they're going to come with this label, corruption. And that's what they did to Lula. When it happened to Zuma, our eyes were closed. They're going to do it with many of the leaders as the struggle intensified. So we want to say, and it's nice to see, I was just asking Chris, Professor Madikane there, how long did it take you and what made you to become a professor? And I said, Comrade Soli, all the professors I know during the years of struggle, immediately got freedom. They became professors at various universities. And I now understand why. Because you remember that history of, Malema is not here, you'll remember that history of the cabal. Look at that history, flashback, read, understand, and check what is happening today. Where is Winnie Mandela? Where is Chresani? Where is Oliver Tambo? Where is Sobukwe? Where is Biko? So our giants are all here. They are no more here. Kresan is not here, Comrade Soli. Joe Slovo is not here, but you are here. And the South African Communist Party is here. Azapo, our leader, Biko, is not here. But you are there, Comrade Nelvis. PAC, Comrade Jeki, Sobuko is not here. And that's why we continue saying, long live the undying spirit of these heroes and heroines of our struggle. And those were some of the people who were never recognized. You will never even one day hear the voice of Sobukwe because it was so deliberate. So you have created this platform, Comrade Soli, and we agree with you in conclusion that this historic conference must agitate us to rebuild the rudimentary organs of people's power. The time is now. There is no time for competition. And I've always argued with President Zuma's MK that recruiting as Magashule into MK is not a solution. Convene a meeting of all political parties and those who are still liberation organizations, because they have following. Don't say join MK. Let's discuss and say which vehicle can drive us and take us from here to the destination where we want to see this new revolution. And if that is the case, the name is not important. When I decided to leave the ANC, I consulted my ancestors. I consulted churches, and they said, "Are you sure you want to leave this movement?" They said, "No, it's not easy. You shouldn't leave." I went to them again. They said, "No, the name is not important." What is the name? ANC. It's not important. The objectives and the ideals which the ANC fought for, are you still for those ideals and objectives? I said, yes. They said, forget the name, continue with the struggle for what the ANC was actually fighting for. So I'm just saying, Comrade Soli, you remember when our Secretary General, maybe it's not a secret, the Communist Party came to the ANC leadership, the National Working Committee, the official, the council of the top leadership of the party and COSATU. And the SACP said, let's take this treasury document, page by page, page 1, page 6, page 63. You are quoting IMF and World Bank verbatim. This is not your document, ANC. Here I said, hey, these guys can research, man. Hey. It's a real story. It's a real story. And that's how things were privatized. And that's how things are being privatized. And at some stage, they call it corporatization. They change names and all that. So the class project still continuing. So Soli and the SACP, at the right time, history will say, you have done well for the poor of the poorest, for the working class. Don't give up. We support this historic conference of the left. I hope when we get out here, it's not about me as Magashule. I still want to be a leader. I have led. I can be an organizer and mobilizer of our people. And other leaders can lead. There are leaders who have been principled. Azapo has stayed principled. It has not been bought by money. PAC remained principled. I don't know what made them to join the GNU. But engagement and persuasion is what we should actually do all the time. We should not label people. We must go to them and call them and sit down and discuss. Because before the formation of Umkhonto Wesizwe, the PAC, Azapo, ourselves, Tony Engeni, Godi, EFF, UDM, we met 6 times. And we agreed that we need a patriotic front. It was just close to elections. Carl Niehaus. After elections, when we discussed yesterday with our party leaders, they said you must tell that conference that election outcomes are not permanent. You can go to parliament and have 100 members. The next election you can have 2. So you're not coming here to say, hey, we have numbers in parliament, our voice must be stronger. You know, during those discussions, EFF said to us, hey, President Zuma, you must join us. And we said, yo. And he said, Ace, this party of yours is yesterday. We are so many in parliament. You know, to have money, elections want money. You're going to see it as a CP. Because you are not captured. You are not captured. You are going to contest with people with billions of rands. I was Secretary General of the ANC. We printed 9 million T-shirts in 2012. In 2019. If you're going to contest here, you don't have money for 200 million. You may actually just print as SACP 50,000 T-shirts. And people have approached us as ACT during the past elections to give us money. And we said, thank you. We don't want money from Israel. Thank you, our friends. We don't want money from you. And our members were saying, no, take the money. Yeah, I said, you know what? Do you understand taking the money means what? You're going to chant slogans and tell our people we are radical, we're going to change things. But they will call you aside and say, you now toe the line and you tone down. So this conference is very, very important. And I wish all of us can have mental consciousness. We have passed black consciousness now. We need mental consciousness to take our people forward. So long live the South African Communist Party, long live. The collective of the party, not Solima Pai.